Hey nerds, welcome to JerBear. I just got home from watching Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange Mom. And that's what, just like we did for the Batman, I just want to talk about the movie, kind of like a mini review, because obviously I can't sit in the movie theater and record a reaction to everything. I'll talk about my likes, my dislikes, and unlike the Batman episode or episode video where we did a regular video and then a spoiler video, it's all going to be here. But don't worry, in the play bar, there's a timestamp for when spoilers start. A screen will pop up and I will mention it as well. Before then, zero spoilers. After then, heavy spoilers. One random note I got to make about this before I actually get into it. My theater was ass. That was probably the worst theater I've been in for a Marvel movie. Everything that was happening that were like big moments or Easter eggs that would normally get a reaction from the crowd was only getting a reaction from me and my friend. And yeah, very disappointed with that crowd, especially some big moments we'll talk about in the spoilers where I was screaming. I was the only one screaming. Made me feel dumb. But at the same time, be yourself. Fuck everybody else. Anyways, let's get into it. So, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is our 28th MCU film. I probably should look that up and took a note so I make sure I'm right on that. But it's our 28th MCU film. First thing out of the bat, do I recommend the movie? Yes. It's an MCU film. I recommend it. We had Doctor Strange in 2016. We get Doctor Strange in Infinity War in 2018 and Endgame in 2019. And then Spider-Man No Way Home in 2021. I think that's all. He wasn't in Civil War. That's all of his appearances, right? He's also has a cameo appearance in Thor Ragnarok. So, which was 2017, right? I think. Maybe also 2018. It's not important. Regardless, Benedict Cumberbatch, obviously back as Doctor Strange. And it doesn't feel like it picks up where those other movies left off. At the end of Doctor Strange 2016, we get our end screen of Mordo, right? And we feel like that's where the movie's going to pick up and where it's going to take off. For when we get our next Doctor Strange standalone, it doesn't. Coming off the heels of No Way Home, which plays perfectly off of Endgame, etc., and all those other movies. But it does kind of tie into that. There is mention of what happens in Endgame very briefly. And then the movie kind of progresses. And I got to say, it doesn't feel like a Doctor Strange movie because it's not. It is a Wanda Maximoff, a.k.a. the Scarlet Witch. It's her movie. It's going off of, I want to say it was like House of M. Was it House of Madness? It was a comic book series, something like that, with Wanda in it as Scarlet Witch. I think it's kind of going in, like playing off of that comic book for most of its references. And Sam Raimi, who directed the first 3 Spider-Man movies, comes in to direct this movie. And it's definitely a Sam Raimi movie. It's very heavy on the eyes. It's a lot of heavy focus. And they also brought in horror elements. When they initially announced the movie, Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be a horror film. And you can see where it probably at one point was a horror film because there are beautiful horror elements, but those kind of intertwine, faded and out. The way the movie starts off with Doctor Strange and American Chavez is really, really cool. And then you kind of get propelled from there. Nothing else from this point talking about plot points or anything like that. I'll tell you guys my likes and dislikes. My first like is American Chavez. I love the actor they got to play American Chavez. I feel like she embodies that role perfectly, and we get to see her character and this journey that this character is about to go on as her first introduction is really, really, really cool. And I think there's big things coming down the line for American Chavez. I did have initially Strange and Wanda both on my list of likes, but that I feel like goes without saying. I will say that Olsen is in her bag, bro, as Scarlet Witch in this movie. In her bag. Like, you just know that this is her film. Her facial expressions, everything from the get-go. You're like, yep, this is all hers. Every single bit of it. From the, just every time she's on screen, from her intense moments, her somber moments, the horror elements they work in, and the emotional moments, all of that comes directly from her character. And I thought it was a very cool thing just to watch her character evolve, so on and so forth. I got my list of likes. Next thing will be Wong. I feel like outside of our main characters, Wong, again, is back in as playing Wong. Last time we saw Wong was at he was in No Way Home, but he was also in Shang-Chi. And Wong's just hanging out. Wong comes in this movie. He feels like the Sorcerer Supreme in this movie, but Wong being Wong, the things that normally happen to him. again, I love the horror elements of the movie. I love when it's trying not necessarily to scare the audience, but to make you feel uneasy, like you are in a scary movie dealing with sorcerers and witches and magic, which is pretty dope. The other big like I would say is the supporting cast, the external characters, some of the other peeps. We'll get into more of that in the spoiler territory, and then the fight scenes. I think the fight scenes look really good. One of the fights has some good musical elements to it, and that's all I'll say. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It felt kind of cheesy at first, but as it continued to go on, I just really enjoyed it because it was, at the end of the day, it's a comic book movie. Those are my likes. What about the dislikes? The pacing. The pacing feels all over the place. It feels like there was a couple different movies intertwined here. It's not a bad thing. I just didn't care for the pacing. I feel like the movie could have used, you know what? I'll wait. The fast ending was the next thing for my dislikes. I feel like the movie could have used another 10 to 20 minutes to really encompass the dislikes, because there's a lot of questions left unanswered. There's a lot of things that I don't feel were answered in this movie and don't feel like they'll be answered in the near future. I don't know. With the other movies coming out this year, it doesn't feel like it would be touched on or get answered. Definitely not going to be answered in Thor: Love and Thunder. I feel like something of this scale would have much larger ramifications than what it's initially showing, and maybe we'll get that. I feel like that note for dislike is in the spoiler territory. Big dislike was the first half of the movie CGI. I have a lot of people when I talk about CGI in some of the Marvel shows, like, I don't see what you're seeing. I don't think. I'm like, the ice cream truck in Moon Knight, the last episode of Moon Knight in the suit, horrible CGI. I think I'm so spoiled because of Thanos, for example. Thanos is CGI. I've never had a single moment watching those movies, whether it's on a monitor, a big screen, this TV right here behind me, none of it where I've ever felt like Thanos was CGI. It felt like a real person. Some of the CGI in this movie in the first half is a bit wonky, and I'm not talking about characters that are solely CGI. I'm talking about just the parts that should feel like it's real. And it's not a bad thing either. It's just I feel like I got spoiled, and now every time I see bad CGI, I feel like I got to kind of point it out. I don't know. Overall, really, really, really loved the movie. I liked it. One of my best friends hates it. He doesn't like the way it was directed, so I get why people aren't liking it, but at the same time, I do really enjoy it. I will put a moment right here for prerequisites. Do you need to watch certain things before watching this? I would recommend watching Doctor Strange. I would recommend watching, obviously, to see everything he's been in: Infinity War, Endgame, No Way Home. I think the big two would be the first Doctor Strange and No Way Home, just so you have that tie in there. And I think that's really it. Like, people were saying you need to watch What If. You don't need to watch What If to understand this movie. Everything is kind of self-explanatory. There are certain things you could watch to be familiar with certain characters, but I don't think it's a necessity. So with that in mind, bleeding in, spoiler alert. Spoilers right now. Click away. Click. Click, 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 click. Spoilers are happening right now. So there's really only one big spoiler, and that's the cameos, right? And the cameos mainly in the Illuminati. You guys saw this coming from the trailer. You saw it on the TV spots. Majority of these were spoiled. I have their names up here on IMDb. I don't want to disrespect anybody. So first up is Lashana Lynch, who was in Captain Marvel as Maria Rambeau, coming in as Miss Marvel. And I think that's what they called her. So fucking cool to see. We get Haley Atwell returning as Peggy Carter, who also voice act Peggy Carter / Captain Britain as Captain Carter, excuse me. And What If? She is back as a live action Captain Carter. We have I'm going in order here. We have Anson Mount, if I'm saying his name correctly. He was in the Inhumans TV series that got canceled as Black Bolt. He is back as Black Bolt in a much better suit. Holy shit. Black Bolt sitting on the throne of the Illuminati. Mordo, obviously, as well. I don't have the actor's name pulled up, sorry. Next are the big two. The one from the trailer that was spoiled by his voice that we all know was Sir Patrick Stewart returning as Professor X / Charles Xavier. He is in his comic series style chair, and as he comes on screen, this is what we hear. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. 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 Ba-na. They play the fucking X-Men animated with a newer touch on it for fucking Professor X, dude. What? And then the huge one. The one that came out of nowhere. The one that was the biggest pop of all. And again, I was in a shitty theater because nobody gave a fuck. Was John Krasinski as Reed Richards / Mr. fucking Fantastic. What? The Illuminati is here, but fear not for long, because Wanda goes through each and every one of them. She kills them. Kills Black Bolt by closing his fucking mouth and having him scream on the inside of his own face. Kills Professor X. Kills Reed Richards. Kills Captain Britain by throwing a shield through Captain Carter by throwing a shield through her. Kills Marvel by dropping a statue on her. And then finally there is a moment with Professor X goes inside of Scarlet Witch's head to try to save Wanda from Scarlet Witch, and she shows up and snaps his neck, and he fucking dies. She kills everyone in the Illuminati. Mordo's still alive, though. But here's the thing, it's the multiverse. My friend was like, they're probably not going to use John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, but why wouldn't they? They brought back the same dude for Mordo. They brought back all the same actors to replay all these characters. Why wouldn't they bring back Krasinski? Doesn't make much sense on that front, but it is what it is. From there, Strange uses, the Darkhold to become zombie Strange and kind of help Wong fight and take down Wanda. And then Wanda has the moment where she's like, I opened the Darkhold. I should be the one to close it. And then has a super emotional moment with her actual self, with her kids, like another version of her in the multiverse. And then I think our 616 Scarlet Witch dies, but like very anticlimactically, if that is what happened. That's one of the big questions. I have no fucking clue. There was tension between Strange and that Palmer. Nothing comes of it. He just kind of goes home. Chavez is training, blah, blah, blah. And that's the end of it. He goes outside. He fucking, he said he had no ramifications from opening the Darkhold. He lied. He did. He fixed his watch. And then he hears some music and his third eye opens and like, that's it. That's the end of the movie. But it does go into the mid-credit scene, which was Charlize Theron as Clea. I have no idea who Clea is. I had to look up the name. I'm going to have to look into that character. I'm not a know-it-all fucking source for Marvel. I have no idea. And then the end credit scene was Bruce Campbell, who made an appearance earlier in the movie. And Bruce Campbell is still beating himself up. And then he says, "It's over," letting people know that the movie is done and we should all go home. So Bruce Campbell was initially supposed to be like a Mysterio or a Doctor Strange in the Raimi Spider-Man universe that never ended up happening. So that was a cool cameo for him to make. It would have been cool if he was a multiversal Strange, but they kept it with all the same actors. I think that's the reason we didn't get Tom Cruise as an Iron Man, was because of that. I don't think I have any other big notes here. I just kind of wanted something more to happen when he got home, I think. I don't have any major tweaks or anything I would change in the movie. It is what it is. Sam Raimi did a beautiful job directing it. I don't know where it goes from here or how it ties into other stuff. I was hoping the movie would tie more into the ramifications of the stuff that happened with the multiverse shattering with Loki. There is confirmed that what Loki and Sylvie did, is the reason why this stuff happened in WandaVision and is the reason why Strange's spell brought in all those villains at the end. But I wish it just would have picked up directly kind of from there. It doesn't feel like a Marvel movie, and that's okay. I like the movie. I like it a lot. There's a lot of strong elements I like about it, especially the characters. I just like it could have done more. I think our big movie this year for Marvel will be Thor: Love and Thunder, and I am looking forward to that. So, if you clicked on the play bar here, this was the end of the spoiler talk. Nothing from this point forward. If you guys have seen the movie and you enjoyed it, feel free to talk about it down below. I ask one request. If you are going to talk about spoilers, put it in big, bold letters at the beginning of your comment that says spoilers. And then hit enter a couple times, and then you can type something if you want to talk about said spoilers. Otherwise, comment about the movie if you liked it. Let me know what you thought about it. Let me know if you liked it, if you disliked it, whatever the case may be. We can have a full-blown conversation, and I'm going to go ahead and head out. So links and everything will be in the description box down below. Playlist will be up on screen. As always, stay cute, stay hydrated, and I will catch you on the next one.